Welcome to DFS Insights. I am David G, joined here by my cousin and Crow strategist, also David G. We are here for UFC 307, taking place in Salt Lake City, Utah. We got two great title fights up here on this card. We got Mr. Alex Pereira at the light heavyweight champ, putting his belt on the line against Khalil Rountree, who is currently on a 5-fight win streak, and 4 of those are by knockout. So I'm definitely looking forward to the main event there. And then the co-main event, we have the women's bantamweight belt on the line between champ Raquel Pennington taking on ex-champion Juliana Pena. So Dave and I are going to touch on each of these matchups and give you our insights on which fighters we think you should be targeting in order to have the most success this Saturday. And we have 2 underdog picks that we're going to be going over here throughout the middle of the video, and we're going to give you the inside scoop on some of those. So just make sure to stay tuned here throughout the video. If you want to hear what our 2 underdog picks are, it could definitely help your lineups here on Saturday. So again, please like, subscribe if you like the content, join the DFS Insights community. And with that, we are here at UFC 307. How you feeling about 307, Dave?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Another chance to win here. So didn't get, I don't think we got a video up last week. So pretty busy, and so wanted to get one up here, and hopefully unfortunately after this week, we won't be covering the final insights before, but we're gonna start doing those live streams again for everybody. So enough of that. Looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll let you start it off here with the main.
I'm definitely excited with this main matchup here. We got 2-time champion. I say 2-time, he was the 185 champ, moved on up to 205 and has just been dominating. He's fighting, we all know Alex Pereira is a striker. We got him fighting another striker in Khalil Rountree. And while some people might think, does Khalil Rountree deserve this title matchup? I definitely think he does. He's extremely strong. He definitely has knockout ability here to be able to knock out Alex Pereira. I mean, and at 6,600, that's even disrespectful. He's on a 5-fight win streak, and 4 of those are coming by not first round knockout, but 4 of those are coming by knockout. So I'm definitely excited about this matchup. It's going to be tough for Pereira to pay off that $9,600 salary. That's the tough part I do see there. So I might be a little under the field on him, even though I do think he's probably going to win. I just don't know if he's going to be able to pay off the 9,600. Again, going against another striker here, it's pretty tough. What are your thoughts here on this matchup?
Yeah, our math odds here, we do our own math predictions, and they've been about 70 to 80% accurate, as long as the name's not yellow, as we'll mention here when it comes to the 4th fight. We'll explain that. But, looking at this fight, Vegas is favoring Alex Pereira at, minus 500, basically translates that to about 83% chance to win. Our math is coming in about roughly the same, 79%, and we've been fairly accurate. His actually inside the distance odds, as well as round 1 odds, are up there on the slate. So, with an ownership of 48%, I think that's low. I think he's going to be closer to maybe mid-50s-ish if I had to actually put a number on it. But, people are going to do the recency bias and seeing his previous fights, and it's kind of hard not to. It's kind of hard not to go to him. Rountree. Now, whether or not he's just throwing stuff out to mess with Pereira, but he said he's not even going to try to take him down. Why you would just completely eliminate a part of the game, even though everybody does hate grappling and wrestling. I think that could benefit him, but if he wants to stand and bang with Pereira, good for him, and I guess good luck. But I do like it. I'll definitely probably be maybe under the field for Rountree. Just I want to have exposure to this entire fight, but Pereira would probably be about 50-ish% of my lineups will be probably Alex Pereira in this.
And that's fair. After reviewing the math and the inside the distance probability and the round one probability, he is coming in there at the top three. This is going to be a banger of the fight. It's 100% not going the distance. And as you mentioned, Pereira's last couple fights here and at the light heavyweight. I mean, Prohaska, and Hill, and then Prohaska again. I mean, those are just straight killers. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. So,
So
yeah, I'll be at the field, and as you mentioned, I'll be low on the field on Rountree, but definitely don't count him out for sure.
nice, yeah. All right, now to the co-main, the second belt up on the slate. I guess it'd be the first belt if you're watching it up on the slate. Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena. So this is 5-round fight. It is a women's fight. Hopefully the ownership comes in lower because I could see a little bit of value here. Raquel Pennington's 8,400, so not too bad. Her chances to win, Vegas is about 64%. Our math is coming in slightly under that, about a 56% chance. So I kind of like to see better odds than slightly above 50-50. But at 8,400, 5-round fight, women's fights are typically lower owned because they're a little bit more unpredictable. You got average ownership for Pennington about 43.5. I can see that's about right, and Pena coming in about 38. So if you rating wise, we have them roughly about the same. So maybe if you are looking to throw in these 5-round fights, you're going to have to consider your overall lineup. I think either one does have potential, but I might be slightly under the field with Pena and probably about at field with Pennington on this one.
Yep, I fully agree with you. We got Pennington here on a 6-fight win streak. She is a little bit more of a decision machine, but having those 5 rounds to do that in, it definitely helped her out here in this last, getting the belt over Bueno Silva with those 145 fantasy points. My issue with Pena is that she hasn't fought in 2 years. I'm not sure if she had a child or not during that time. She may have, but then she also had a 2-year layoff before that as well. So I don't like the layoff to where Pennington has just been grinding. And to me, she looks the best she's ever looked. And, she is an older fighter. And this is at the 135-pound weight class, which I do like when it does come to women. I do like the higher weight classes. So, yeah, I definitely like Pennington here. I'll be at least at equal the field. And as you mentioned with Pena, I really do think that win over Amanda Nunes was, shown to be a little fluky. Amanda didn't show up. She didn't take it seriously. And then when they fought again, Juliana was a shell of herself. So, yeah, I'm with you there. I like Raquel Pennington here for the win. And I do see at that 8,400 price, I could see her making the optimal lineup. Obviously depending on how the other fights go as well. So
nice. All right. Well, moving on here to the match 3. Who do you got here? Mario Bautista or Jose Aldo?
Yeah, so I find this pretty interesting. So, Mario Bautista coming in here as the favorite. I find that pretty shocking. He is on a 6-7 to fight win streak. And I do know if you were to, you look at his fantasy points over those, and he's averaging over those wins, 103, 105, 118, 111, 83, 76 fantasy points. Well, Perrin, not in the UFC anymore. Kelleher, retired, not in the UFC anymore. Lopez, I don't believe he's in the UFC anymore. Cantonelli, I honestly don't think he's in the UFC anymore. Blackshear's the only one, and Ricky Simone, who unfortunately is a shell of himself. I'm a big Ricky Simone fan. He is just not, so if we're looking at that, it just, to me, that record is fluffed. When we look at Jose Aldo here, Davashvili, who he fought in 2022, tried to take him down 16 times. And how many takedowns did he get? 0. Freaking 0 against this dude. Aldo is still a gatekeeper. He's still one of the best of all time to do it. And at the 7,700, I'm not sure if he'll be able. He's not a super high volume guy, but the wins he does have, I mean, man, he's got a win over Rob Font.
Yeah,
Pedro
yeah.
Munoz is no joke. Marlon Vera. So, besides Piotr Jan, who was the champ, Volkanovski champ, are his losses. I find this is just one of the underdogs that I do really like, and I do like this fight in general. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. Mario Bautista. I mean Vegas is only coming in about 58%, while our math is actually showing 73%. So, yeah, and ownership's roughly about the same there. 23.4 coming in average ownership for Bautista and 22.7 for Aldo. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking, basically how my lineup pans out and if I could see salary, but our math's been fairly accurate. So, with it showing even more now than Vegas, I might be leaning more heavier on the Bautista aspect of this. So.
Yeah, that's now that we've been doing this long enough, our math really, I mean, no joke, man. We're at about an 80% clip, and that's when we have multiple yellow fighters, meaning we don't have as much data, 3 fights or less, and usually there's at least 4 to 6 of those on there, and we only have one. So to me, that just means the math is going to be, yes, anything can happen, but the math should be leaning a little bit more in our favor. So that for that reason, I will be a little higher on Bautista than what I usually would be, because I trust our math and our process there than anything else. So
well,
speaking
of not trusting it, we're gonna go with this fight.
I know, right?
So when we mentioned yellow fighter, the yellow highlighted fighter in this case, Kayla Harrison, has less than basically 3 points, 3 fights of data for math to consider. I like to use roughly about 5 to be accurate, but we basically indicate, three or less, and we feel comfortable. As you can clearly see here, she's coming in. Vegas has her at a 92.34, 92% favorite, where math is showing, 16. That's just because of the data that's available. But anyways, I'm going to go, against the math in this case. I think Kayla Harrison is going to put the beat down. Now, whether or not she's going to be able to carry, that 9,800, we've been burned, I think, the last 2 times now. Tom Nolan, I think, was one of them, and then also the last fight here that we covered.
O'Malley burned us.
No, it was Rosas Jr. ended up not, finishing. Ended up going.
From the most expensive.
Yeah, expensive aspect.
The most.
So. For sure. I think she's going to get a quick win. I think she's going to be a lot higher. Kayla Harrison's probably going to, finish this in the first round. They're setting her up to be the stallion there in the women's league. So she's coming in at 27.8 average ownership. I clearly see her higher. 8% being generous to Vieira. I'll probably be closer to, 4 just to have some exposure. Never take anyone completely out, but I'll be 1 to 4% probably on Vera. So nothing too much to say about this fight. 1,200 favorite.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I might be a little under the field at the 27%, just depending on my lineup construction for Kayla Harrison. Only because that 9,800, you and I both know you need to typically hit over 110 fantasy points, if not 120 at that type of salary. Like, do I think she could do that? 100%. They're setting her up. They definitely want her to get a first round finish here. But, Vieira is no joke. She's not a lay down fighter, and she's won 3 of her last 4. So, I mean, and she was an underdog in 2 of them. She has not been fighting, all that much. But yeah, I'm with you there. Moving on to the next fight, I definitely am excited. I'm always excited to see Kevin Holland fight. So he's just a character, and a well-rounded MMA fighter. His IQ might not fully be there, because sometimes he'll strike just because he's talking a bunch of crap, and will strike when he should be doing jiu-jitsu, and then the opposite. He's fighting, Roman. I always get this wrong. Dolidze, right? I believe so.
Still it is.
You know,
I think.
Roman. Yeah, he's no joke. I mean, he had won 4 in a row before losing 2 in a row. He is coming off a win over Smith. His losses are to Imavov and Vittori. You know, there's no shame in losing to Vittori. And then, you know, he's got his win over Hermanson, Phil Haas, Chris Dawkins, and Strapoli. Is a decent fighter. You know, that's going back to 2021. So this is definitely a pick'em fight. As you can see, you know, one guy's 8,300, one guy's 7,900. Our math here is showing Kevin Holland as the favorite. I do typically like putting my money on Kevin Holland because he does have multiple ways to win. He could definitely submit you. He can submit you from off his back. He can also knock you out. And it's just about which Kevin Holland is going to show up. I do believe this fight is at 170, if I'm not mistaken, instead of the 185. He bounces back and forth so much. I have like 8 screens up. I don't know why I can't. I should know this. I feel embarrassed. But if this is at 170, like I believe it is, I do like the 170 Holland much more than I like the 185 Holland. What are your thoughts here on this fight?
Yeah, nothing too much other than add. I mean, math is coming in about the same as Vegas, so I'll probably be, ownership Holland 27.5, where Dolidze is 24. So I could see roughly being slightly maybe under, maybe 20% on Dolidze, and about that on Kevin Holland. 63% is pretty good chance there to win. Unlike the next fight here with Joaquin Buckley and Stephen Thompson. Vegas has, Buckley winning about 69%. Our math is coming in slightly lower at about a 51%. So to me, 51, that's basically a toss-up there between the two. I do think Buckley's going to take this. I think Thompson's, just getting to age, Father Time can't defeat him. And I think he's just getting up there but being basically almost a 50-50 fight. Ownership wise, Buckley coming in at 1,400, salary more at 8,800. Thompson at 74. Buckley at 24% ownership. Thompson at 16. I would just, if I do plan on, going this fight, it would come down to, do I need the salary or do I not? If I'm going to go with the 50-50 fight, I can, maybe see inside the distance. Probability for Buckley's slightly higher, 33%. Yeah, I think if I went, I'd be about the field on this fight. Nothing crazy. Just because it's a 50-50 fight. It's basically, to me, if I'm following our math and I'm going, pretty. We've been pretty accurate.
Yeah,
it's like flipping a coin.
I see our math being much more. In the right direction than the 69%. Stephen Thompson, regardless of age, every single person says he is an awkward fighter to strike, and these are going to be both strikers here, and so Buckley might find a hard time finding his chin and getting any type of volume. So at that 8,800 price point, it's going to take him really most likely getting some type of finish in order to have his salary be met there to be in the optimal lineup. And then if Stephen Thompson just wins, I could see him being optimal, but unfortunately, most likely don't see him winning. His last win was against Holland back in it was two and a half years ago. Unfortunately, I know he did have some kind of injury. I know he just fought Rakhmonov, lost in 2 rounds and got subbed. But no one's beating Rakhmonov. He's going to have the belt here shortly once he fights Muhammad here eventually. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Moving on up. And
this is our first, this is the first underdog matchup we got here in our prediction. So let's get it.
Yeah. So we got the, when talking, we're doing this with the female fighters because usually again, a little bit more volatile. But, we got, I think it's supposed to be Jasmine, unless I'm tripping. But, no, I guess But we got Lucindo, coming in here at 8,600. She is, she's coming in on a 3-fight win streak. She's fought not really anybody. I mean, Kalik Kawelitz. Wow, I'm just murdering these names tonight. But she's had all decisions and one submission win, and fighting in Marina Rodriguez. I definitely like Rodriguez here. She has lost 3 of her last 4, but I still think she's live, and when she does win, she does score a nice amount of points. And she's fought. The people she's fought are just some beasts. She's coming off a loss to Jessica Andrade. I'm a big Andrade fan. She did beat Michelle Watterson. I do believe that was because Watterson was coming off being just having a kid. She lost to Jandiroba. You and I both know Jandiroba's a freaking monster. Amanda Lemos just fought for the belt. That's her other loss. So, her losses are not against, it's against two ex champions or 2 people that fought for the belt, and then someone who's up and coming for the belt. And then, wins against Jean Yanan. Mackenzie Dern's no joke. She got another win over Watterson, Rebos. So, she fought the who's who. And I'll let you kind of take it from the math standpoint here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Vegas is coming in 65% for Lucindo, and our math is showing 55% for Marina. So this is going to be a good, match. I think I'm going to be targeting for that, salary saver, that underdog fight. Ownership-wise, Rodriguez is 17%, so you're setting yourself up there to be different. And, 24% for Lucindo. So, yeah, it's not too big of a thing, but one, I think it could be even slightly less ownership. Like you said, this is going to be a women's fight and an underdog that you're picking, so I can clearly see potentially even, low teens here for Marina Rodriguez, which makes her even more of a, a plus if she does win. So I'm hoping math, stays true here, and she end up getting that victory. And, obviously I would love a inside the distance finish, but even I think at her salary, getting a decision with some decent volume or a takedown or 2, she'll be up there.
Nice. Yep, definitely. I was just now highlighting that on my Excel spreadsheet to make sure I know to do that.
So next up, Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Potieria. Say that 5 times fast. So this one seems to be kind of lopsided, but we'll see here. Vegas 80% for Almeida. Math is even predicting 67, so that's pretty decent. And then inside the distance odds, being almost one of the highest, second highest, 73% to finish inside the distance for Cesar, and 43.5, which is basically tied for first to actually get a round 1 win. You are going to be paying, $9,400 salary for him, 35%. But Potieria coming in at that 6,800, I might be about at the field at 17% on him. For some reason, I don't know. I just think Almeida is just overhyped for me. Math is,
I agree,
giving me 7% over Vegas, but I think Potieria potentially could win this.
And not to cut you off, but he is one of the fighters. Cesar Almeida does only have 2 fights in the UFC, so he won his first one in 2024, April 6th, and he had a second round knockout TKO over Buddha, and he was the underdog in that fight. And then it was a pick'em fight against Kopylov in June, and he lost that by a decision. So he does only have 2 fights of data there, to where his competition, actually has, about 6 fights or so, and he's, 50-50, lose, win, lose, win, lose, lose, win, lose. He has fought, he fought Olberg. I'm a big Carlos Olberg fan. He got knocked out in the first round there in 2023. He was 6,900 then. That's just, Carlos Olberg is a top dude. I believe he fought Alex Pereira. That's 5-4 2024. Oh, no, that's Michelle Pereira. My bad.
Yeah.
It's the other one. So, yeah, he lost to him by a first round submission. back in May, and he was supposed to lose that. He was only 6,600 then. This is a completely different matchup, though. I mean, he's going from fighting, the guy who does backflips and breakdancing as he goes into the octagon to fighting a guy with 2 fights and who's 1-1. So this would be an underdog. It's not one of our top underdog plays, but I'll definitely have some exposure here to Ihor Pat, Pat, Patera.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, yeah. Moving on.
So,
You want to take over the Pennington one here?
yeah, hey, so we have Raquel Pennington's wife. Used to be Tisha Torres. It is now Tisha Pennington. So congratulations to them. Um, Tisha Torres, she's been in the UFC forever. She's a monster. Um, the tiny tornado. She's coming off 2 losses, one in 2024. She was on a 2-year layoff. She had lost to Mackenzie Dern. Her last win was against Angela Hill 3 years ago. So, she was on a little 3-fight win streak, beating Fortino, Hughes, and Angela Hill. Uh, Man, yeah, this is tough, man. 8,700. Although we got the Cookie Monster, Carla Esparza, who did have the belt and took the belt from one of my favorite female fighters of all time, Rose Namajunas, and one of the you know prettier. I argue with some of my guy friends. They make fun of me because I think Rose Namajunas is smoking hot, and they make fun of me and say she isn't. That's a whole nother discussion. She's a badass inside the cage. And Carla Esparza, took the belt from her. So, her last fight was she took some time off. She lost the belt to Wei Li. We all know Zhang Wei Li is a beast. Um, that is what it is. I,
Yeah.
yeah, man. To be honest, I'm surprised Tisha Torres is that big of a favorite here. Our math even is showing, at the 66%, we're pretty much on par there with Vegas. I'm a little torn here, to be honest. It's obviously targeting this fight overall. 16% ownership at Tisha, 23 coming in at Carla. I'm not going to have a lot of exposure to this fight. It's probably going to go to a decision. It's 3 rounds, and yeah, man. If anything, I guess Esparza with the takedowns most likely is my outcome I could see, and her scoring some points. I just, yeah, if anything here, I think this is an underdog or pass for me.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go. It just might not have too much exposure, but Pennington, Tisha Pennington, 8,700. It's just quite a bit of salary to go with probably a potential lower scoring decision fight. I think she will get the win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna trust the math here. 16% seems reasonable. I might be around there, 16, 18% or so. With the fights, Carla Esparza, I might be, slightly under there, coming in at 23.7. Just simply looking at the math, I can, find the underdogs better that I would like to probably be higher owned on. So I'll probably be lower on the field than 23 on this one. So yeah. All right.
Okay.
Last 3 fights here. Moving on. Next one. Ryan Spann versus OSP. Oven Saint Preux. OSP. So 9,200 for Spam, 7,000 for OSP here. Yeah, Vegas is thinking Spam's going to come in and dominate here, 71%. Our math is showing, hey, calm down there, big guy. You're only about 57%. So, looking also at the inside of the distance there for Spann, it's, one of the top here on the card. Ownership wise, he's at the top 2. He's about 34%. I think that's not bad. I like him. He's at the lower end of the 9K range. So looking there, I might be slightly under the field just because of that 57% with the math. Because 60% is like, okay, I like it. 50, still in the 50%. You see 50, and I think coin flip for. So with that, sure. OSP, he's a beast too. I know, but Spann is also a beast. But it's either I think I'm going to be under the field, definitely for probably both fighters here. I might not want to target too much. OSP, I don't think is going to win. I think Spann's going to win. It's just lineups. My lineups are going to be. It's going to come down to lineup construction. If he's in it, he's probably going to be the only 9K person in the lineup. So.
And it's tough because with OSP, unfortunately, his last 3 losses are all by knockout in the first or second round. So his chin is just isn't there. And these aren't to super beasts or anything. And then his wins are decision wins. And so he really isn't, in his decisions, he's not necessarily scoring all that great as of recent. So, obviously in a light heavyweight fight, it is anybody's ball game there. Everyone has a puncher's chance. So, definitely have a little bit of exposure. But Ryan Superman Spann, even though he's coming off 3 tough losses here in a row, the under ownership here to me is where you're really going to get a leverage play. And, his wins, his last 2 wins, one was by first round knockout and the other was by a first round sub. And then his other win against Serkinov back in 2021 was in a first round knockout. So the last time he had a decision win was in 2020 against Sam Alvey. And again, Sam Alvey's terrible. But, nonetheless, he beat Johnny Walker and by first round, Serkinov. You know what I'm saying? So Spann, if getting the win and against a chinny OSP, I could see him paying off that 9,200 price tag there. So just as a sheer leverage play, okay, my bad. I'm even getting ahead of myself there. We haven't projected at 34%. I thought I saw the 19%. I got super excited. So, he's still in an ownership range that I'll probably be closer to 25 to 28% on him. But yeah, I still find that a good contrarian play for the guys that are in the 9K range. So
nice. All right. Next up on the plate here.
Yeah, we got Mr. Man. These are 2 old school guys right here. We got Tim Means and Court McGee. So Court McGee coming in here at 7,200. Our math here, we do have Tim Means. He's coming in at 9,000. Vegas got him at 66% to win. Our math here at 58. Tim Means is on a 3-fight losing streak, and that is never any good. His last win was 2022 against Brahimaj, and then against, I think, Bruno Silva in 2021. Coming off a 3-round loss decision to Moreno. I mean, at least he was able to take it to a decision, I guess. Court McGee's always game. I say that even though 2 of those losses were by first round KO. Before I, get too long-winded, oh, sorry, I was on Court McGee. Tim Means, the Dirty Bird, also, loss, win, loss. He also not really fighting. He's fought some better guys. His competition's been a little bit better for sure. I don't know. This is going to be a pretty dirty fight that I think I'll be avoiding a little bit more than the other fights. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, be tough. Tim Means at 9K. I mean, I can, like I said, if I pay up, if I pay up, I get Spann. I feel a little bit more confident in, at least the matchup wise. But Vegas, like you said, 67%. Our math is 59%. Ownership wise for Tim Means coming in at 19%. So potential leverage there. Court McGee, I think people might see him as a potential comer, but at 30%. There, I'd be probably slightly under. I don't necessarily. 41% chance our math is coming in at. It's not bad, but it's also not great for 30%. Maybe people see him as better, but we have 2 underdogs here. We already spoke about one, and next up we'll talk about the other one here. But I'd pay up just an extra 400 to get one of these underdogs that I have a little bit more faith in. So. 30%, I'll definitely probably be under for sure on McGee.
Nice. Yep, I'm with you there. So that brings us to our last, and this is going to be one of our underdog fights here to be targeting. So definitely pay attention here. We got Alex Hernandez coming in at 8,600, And Vegas has him at 63%. Our math is showing 46%. And then we got Austin Hubbard at 7,600, and our math showing it a 53% chance to win. And both of these guys are veterans. Hernandez is actually replacing Nate Landwehr on short notice here in the lightweight showdown that they have facing each other. What are your thoughts here on this fight?
Yeah, this was a late ad. I think when I originally started doing the fighters and getting all the data, this fight wasn't on there. I think it came in Tuesday-ish, around there. So I mean, I think DraftKings just actually updated the salaries. I think early, I want to say maybe late Wednesday afternoon or evening or so. With the salaries, and it's just a coincidence that both underdog picks are actually the same salary, 7,600. So yeah, I like this. I like our math. Here both fighters I think have enough data to where math is good there. Ownership wise, you're not really going to be gaining any leverage picking one of these. They're both coming in at roughly about 22% ownership. However, with Hubbard, you're saving 1,000 salary. So for me, if I need the salary, Hubbard, I'm going to trust the math on this one. So I think I'll be definitely, if I probably might be up to closer to 26, maybe 26 to 30% on Hubbard. Just, that would be my underdog play. And, to match that with Moreno, probably be, sprinkling them in of those lower ones, just because I have that much faith in our math. So, yeah, that's UFC 307 here. So, anything else you want to add?
Great card.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching it. I don't really care too much. I just want to win some money. So, hopefully the fights, lean in my favor here. So, looking forward to, trying to either, hitting big, solo, or just, splitting it with, very few people. So lineups are going to get pretty crazy. I'm going to take a few risks here, and I think, we mentioned, who our underdog favorites are. So hopefully we can help people out here. So anything else you want to add, or, say what we have coming up?
We got, for all you guys NFL, obviously we're finally hitting stride here in NFL. So we'll have the DraftKings Millie Maker coming up for you guys. So we'll have that video up as well. And depending on the Monday night game, looks like we got, the Saints in Kansas City. So, depending on a couple of situations, we should be able to have that. That'll be over on FanDuel single game for you guys. And NBA season is going to be right around the corner. So definitely looking forward to that. Again, please like, subscribe. And if there's you guys got any questions about any of these matchups or any of your lineup construction for these UFC fights, please drop it down in the comments. I'd love to help you guys with any of your questions. That's what we're here for. So please, again, like, subscribe, join the DFS Insights community. And we look forward to helping you guys make a bunch of money. See you guys up at the top.